In July 208 AD, when Liu Biao, the governor of Jingzhou, fell critically ill, Cao Cao heard about it, and quickly assembled a might army for a southward expedition. Liu Biao was a native of Shanyang, Yanzhou, and a descendant of the Western Han clan. At a young age, he became one of the leading scholars at the end of the Han dynasty because of his handsome appearance and profound knowledge, and was one of the representative members of the group of clean and honest bureaucrats. His life experience was quite similar to that of another leader of the scholars, Yuan Shao. In 190 AD, the sensational Dongjua crusade kicked off, and Sun Jian, the governor of Changsha, rose in response. During his journey north, he also forced the death of Wang Rui, the provincial governor of Jingzhou, with whom he had previously feuded. Subsequently, I don't know what method Liu Biao used, but he was elected by Dong Zhuo as the provincial governor of Jingzhou. Liu Biao, who was already 49 years old at that time, ushered in the most important turning point in his life. So Liu Biao came to Xiangyang, alone to take up his post only with the appointment letter. With the support of local big families, such as Kuai Yue, Kuai Liang and Chai Mao, Liu Biao lured and killed thieves, and suppressed the powerful forces, quickly gaining a firm foothold in Jingzhou. When Dong Zhuo was killed 2 years later, Liu Biao was again appointed as the general of guarding south, the governor of Jingzhou, and Marquis of Chengwu by the court under the control of Li Ju. Liu Biao, who had always been reluctant to get involved in the struggles in the Central Plains, and only wanted to protect the people, became the object of competition among various forces. Liu Biao was able to take charge of Jingzhou mainly by relying on the support of the local scholarly group. Because he had neither the experience of leading troops into battle nor the ambition to open up new territories, he did not have the personal troops that Liu Bei had, nor did he have a group of loyal clan generals that Cao Cao had. Therefore, Liu Biao's subordinate military generals, such as Chai Mao, Zhang Yun, Huang Zhu, Zhang Xiu, etc., mainly focused on pulling them together, and did not have strong control. This also determined that he could only pursue a conservative ruling strategy. Liu Biao had 3 sons, the eldest son Liu Qi, the second son Liu Chong, and the youngest son Liu Xiu. The heir struggle was mainly between Liu Qi and Liu Kong. Because of his marriage with the Chai family, Liu Chong received the full support of his uncle Chai Mao and his cousin Zhang Yun. Lady Chai also often took the opportunity to discredit Liu Qi. Liu Biao, who was getting old, could not stand his wife's soft words, and gradually thought of abolishing the elder and setting up the younger one. At the beginning of 208 AD, Liu Qi, who had fallen out of favor, went to visit Zhugeliang at Liu Bei's barracks to ask for advice on countermeasures. Zhugeliang then advised him to leave Xiangyang temporarily and go out to avoid trouble. It so happened that news of the death in battle of Huang Zhu, the governor of Jiangxia, came, so Liu Qi volunteered to request for the post of governor of Jiangxia, and was approved. By agreeing to Liu Qi's departure from Xiangyang at this time, it meant that Liu Biao had already acquiesced to Liu Chong's status as the successor. In August 208 AD, at the age of 67, Liu Biao died in Xiangyang of illness, and Liu Chong then formally inherited the post of governor of Jingzhou, under the support of Chai Mao and others. At this time, Cao's army was already pressing in, so the first thing Liu Chong did after taking charge was to gather Jingzhou civil and military officials to discuss how to fight against the enemy. What Liu Chong didn't expect was that, at the meeting, all the people were so unanimous in urging Liu Chong to surrender. As far as he could see, all of the ministers that his father had left behind for Liu Chong were hardcore pro-Cao factions. This is not to mention people like Zhang Xian and Huan Jie, who had previously risen up in rebellion in order to show solidarity with Cao Cao. Liu Biao has been managing Jingzhou for 18 years, and none of the officials under his command, except the military general Wen Pin, are even willing to fight Cao's army for the foundation of Liu's father and son. These officials are basically Jingzhou locals, and all they can think about now is that if war breaks out, they will definitely lose their property, and their families' lives will be in danger. If Cao wins, they will never have a good time, and even if Liu Chong is lucky enough to win, they will not be able to rise much higher in their already high-ranking positions, so surrendering will give them more room for advancement and protect their family's interests. As for whether Jingzhou's surname is Liu or Cao, what has it got to do with me? In the selection of the heir, Liu Biao and Yuan Shao have a lot of similarities. For example, both could not stand the instigation of his wife, and started to abolish the elder and set up the younger one, and both sent the elder son to garrison while leaving the younger son with them. However, there is an essential difference, which is that Yuan's group did lose because of the infighting caused by the dispute over the heir. If Yuan Shao had dealt with the issue of the heir well, Cao might not have been able to annex the northern lands in a short period of time, because Yuan Shao left behind the team, Shen Pei, Xin Ping, Peng Ji, Hua Tu and so on, not to mention the level of ability, at least, are followed Yuan Shao all the way to struggle over. There is a basic loyalty, but Liu Biao's situation is completely different. No matter if he chooses Liu Qi or Liu Chong, neither of them has the ability to control the whole situation of Jingzhou. Moreover, Liu Qi was still sickly, so choosing Liu Chong was actually the best choice. Taking a step back, even if Liu Biao was still alive at this time, I'm afraid it would be very difficult for him to unite the forces of all factions in Jingzhou and fight Cao to the end. It can be said that Yuan's family messed up on their own, giving Cao a chance to take advantage of the situation. The fate of Liu's father and son, however, was already sealed at the moment Cao unified the north and moved south in a big way. So in order to flatter Cao, this group of people surrounded Liu Chong, who took charge on the first day. What with Cao's army being so powerful and what with representing the imperial court, it was coaxing and laughing, crying and screaming, just whatever they could do. Liu Chong initially did not want to surrender and was counting on Liu Bei to hold off Cao's army for a while. Fu Xun saw what was on Liu Chong's mind, and asked, "How do you think your ability compares to Liu Bei's?" Liu Chong replied that he was not as good as Liu Bei. Fu Xun said, "If Liu Bei cannot defeat Cao, then Jingzhou will be lost, and if Liu Bei defeats Cao, then can you still manage him? Won't Jingzhou be lost sooner or later? Instead of making Liu Bei favors, why not surrender to the imperial court? So don't think about it, just surrender quickly." When things came to this point, it was no longer up to Liu Chong. If he persisted in fighting, he would probably face what happened to Lu Bu back then, being tied up to Cao by this group. So Liu Chong dispatched Song Zhong with a surrender form, and headed north to meet Cao. In September 208 AD, Cao arrived in Xinye. At this time, Liu Bei, who was still practicing at Fancheng, was still unaware of this, and when he realized that the situation was not right, and sent his men across Hehan River to ask about Liu Chong, he learnt that Cao's army was close by and that Liu Chong had raised his province to surrender. Liu Bei's heart at this time, in addition to anger, I'm afraid that more is from the bottom of the horror. How is it that an outpost like me has instantly become a lone army deep in the enemy's rear? At this time, Liu Bei could no longer care to go to Liu Chong for argument. There was only one thought in his mind:
run!